We think now on the long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulky, sullen dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm, nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth-bound, honest tam-o'-shanter, as he frae air a night did canter, old air, one ne'er a town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam, hadst thou but been so wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum, that frae November till October, aye market day, thou wasna sober, that ilka meld over the miller, thou sat as lang as thou hadst siller, that every naig was cad a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring fool. But at the Lord's house e'en on Sunday, thou drank with Kirk and Jean till Monday. She prophesied that late or soon thou would be found deep drowned in doom, or catched with warlocks in the murk by Alloway's old haunted kirk. It's lovely stuff. And at the end of a terrible time, confronting all sorts of imaginary demons, Tam gets home. But in the process, his mare has lost half its tail. The poem ends with a warning we may all take to heart at this very moment. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or cutty sarks rin in your mind, think ye may buy the joys o'er dear. Remember Tam-o'-shanter's mare. And moving from the ribald to the sublime, we have a verse from the poem To Mary in Heaven. In his mid-20s, Burns fell madly in love with Mary Campbell, a nursemaid in a neighbouring household, during a period when he was quarrelling with Jean Armour and her family before they got married. However, at this point, he proposed to Mary, and she returned to her home in the West Highlands to prepare for their wedding. There, tragically, she caught typhus from her brother and died. So Burns writes, "That sacred hour can I forget? Can I forget the hallowed grove, where by the winding air we met, to live one day of parting love? Eternity will not efface those records dear of transports past, thy image at our last embrace, our little thought we 'twas our last." Apparently, by the standards of this day, this book is a fairly slim edition. Such collections were common and sometimes extended to 6 large volumes, and were issued so frequently that they were to be found in the household of nearly every Scotsman at home and abroad, laying any claim to patriotism or literary culture. No doubt all Scotsmen here tonight have at least a couple of large volumes sitting by their bedside tables. Burns was a prolific writer of both poems and songs. His relative poverty at the time of his death, aged only 37, may be partially explained by his great warm heart and his refusal to accept payment for much of his work. Without any payment, he sent over 120 songs to his friend George Thompson for publication in his Select Melodies. According to Burns, this was so that Thompson, for poor old Scotland's sake, some useful plan could make, or sing a sang at least. So gentlemen, read and enjoy your Burns, and ladies, forget the risks of burning cheeks or worse, throw cautions to the wind, buy copies for yourselves and your 17-year-old daughters, and read your Burns. Even if the author of the Ladies' Guide would not have approved, I am sure that my wife's great-grandmother, Edna Boyce, would have joined me in asking you all to raise your glasses and join me in a toast for Rabbie Burns, the immortal memory. Immortal memory!